I am the co host of an AI podcast. Can you tell me a good way to start our episode with an opening link? Welcome to Overpowered, your one stop shop for everything AI. I'm your navigator through the latest in artificial intelligence. We've got some exciting developments to share with you guys today. But before we dive in, if you're part of the 70% of listeners who enjoy this content but haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button now. Don't miss out on our weekly journey into the world of AI. Let's get started.
So now we have 3 people doing the show.
Yes.
So apparently Google released a tool called Help Me Write in Gmail. And as any AI influencer would do it on AI Twitter land, email has changed forever. Mind blowing. Just write one line prompt, AI will automatically generate the whole email for you in seconds. There are many options to refine your emails.
Oh, God, like emails weren't pretentious enough already.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm getting a lot of GPT driven emails. Like it looks like it's very obviously GPT.
Yeah, my LinkedIn others inbox is full of GPT messages. A lot of replies in Twitter are GPT.
What kind of emails do you ignore and what kind of emails do you like reading?
I like emails that are short, quick, to the point. I almost like informal emails. Like formal emails, I absolutely hate.
I love emails with spelling mistakes.
Spelling mistakes, which are just like
You are instead
you
of
are. Yeah, which are it's not capitalized at the right place. It's casual. It's like if people are emailing like they would tweet.
Yeah.
Like,
or they're sending a WhatsApp message.
Yeah, or they're sending a WhatsApp message. Like that's the kind of emails I would want.
Yeah. What do you think? Why do you think people send so many professional emails? Like long, well-written professional emails.
Why do I think people write that? Because they want to make a good first impression, and they think that being hello, I would just like
Dear
to-
sir / madam.
Yeah. Like that sort of
I
thing.
think it's
is
an
what's-
error of school.
Yeah.
Because in 8th and 9th standard, I remember, and even in my boards, if I'm not wrong, you have to write an email. Like you have to write
You have
a
to write
mail.
a letter.
Yeah.
Letter.
Dear sir / madam.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
I wish to inform you
Yeah.
about my latest feelings.
I don't know. I think school has ruined us.
Yeah.
People in the professional world, billionaires, millionaires, they would like to see emails that are one line long. Just get to the point.
Just get to the point as quickly as possible. Yeah.
You know who writes the best emails?
Who?
Or the best way to learn how to email? It's not an emailing course. It's this Twitter account called Tech Emails.
It's a really cool account. I've seen this.
Okay, which is just emails between tech CEOs and tech executives.
Yeah, just for context, this account chronicles public data that is forced to be public when companies sue each other, or there's like a lawsuit, or there's a class action lawsuit. So when these documents are submitted to court, this dude just screenshots them and releases like really cool conversations, private conversations between, in this case, Steve Jobs and Bill Gates in 1998. So this is an email from Steve Jobs to Bill Gates, subject QuickTime. Bill.
One letter subject.
Yeah.
One word. Sorry.
Bill. The Microsoft-Apple relationship seems to be progressing well, working on Office 98 with Ben Waldman and his team. We are investing a lot of marketing dollars to push Office 98, and I think it will pay off for both of our companies.
Straight to the point.
Yeah.
No dear sir.
There is one thing that threatens to be quite divisive, and that is the Microsoft NetShow team's recent behavior. They are really going out of their way to say they intend to kill QuickTime and are being quite threatening and rude. Apple will need to reciprocate in kind if this behavior keeps up. For example, we have already decided that we will not allow NetShow to be bundled with IE 4.0 on Macintosh.
That's a threat.
It's a very politely worded threat.
Let's see some more emails, right? Something shorter. Google PMs on Stripe.
They are kicking our butt. But anyway, I got your point. It's quick, short, seems like a real human is at the other end of it, talking about their real feelings.
Yeah. So the way to write good emails, turns out, because you also want to know a little bit about the people you're writing. I assume these are cold emails. The ideal way is not to use ChatGPT with the browsing plugin because it sucks. The ideal way is to use Bard.
Okay.
This is the thing about AI. You need to know what tool for what purpose. Bard is great for this. So I'm just going to open up Bard. Okay. I want to write an email to Tanmay Bhatt asking him appear on my podcast. Okay. Tanmay is a busy person, will not read long emails, do some research about him, and write a quick 2-line email in the
No,
form.
make it 3 lines. 2 lines is too short.
That's a 3-line email in the form of how tech CEOs would write emails to each other. So now it's going to do some search.
Oh, that was quick. Hi, Tanmay. I'm a big fan of your work and I'd love to have you on my podcast. We can talk about your career, your comedy, and everything else you're interested in. Let me know if you're interested. Thanks.
That's it.
I did somebody. Oh, got it. Okay.
So that the below part is the thinking that the GPT.
Yeah, this won't convince me though.
Yeah.
Maybe rewrite it saying, maybe don't give it 2 lines only. Say, just make it quick email, but a compelling email asking him to appear on my business podcast.
Yeah. Write a short email
In the form of how tech CEOs would write, make it compelling, make it such that he would
compelling
for him to say yes.
and make up social proof. Please
Make up
replace this
social.
with real proof.
Yeah, you guys don't make up social proof.
Yeah. This is just for a template where you replace the words.
Yeah.
My name is Your Name and I'm host of a business podcast called Podcast. I'm a big fan of your work and I'd love to have you on the show to talk about your career, your business and the thoughts on future of technology. I know you're a busy person, so I'll keep this brief. Here's a bit about my podcast. See, nice. I'll keep it brief, 3 bullet points.
Yeah.
Interviewed some of the biggest names in business, including name a few of your guests. Our episodes are listened to by thousands of people across the world.
We've been featured in
Forbes, blah, 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 blah.
Huh.
I think our audience would really like hearing from you. You're a successful entrepreneur, a talented comedian, and a thought leader in the future of technology. By the way, it's searched your info.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think you could offer our listeners a lot of valuable insight.
Got it.
Okay, let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah, so Google's introducing AI in their search, and this is what your new search will look like. It's basically barred on your search page.
Yeah, it's barred on your search page. I'll tell you my problem with this, okay? So many businesses, SaaS businesses, including Scenes, for example, right? We're very dependent on getting clicks from these links.
Correct.
Right? It's the world of SEO, search engine optimization, right? You write an article that appears on top.
Also, Google's like 90% of Google's revenue.
No, Google's revenue is still SEM, right? It's still in this part only. Ads I'm sure they're not going to kill ads. Like, it will probably be 3 ads, right? And now I feel like you need to be in the top 3 articles.
But the problem right now is that both GPT and Bard, I don't 100% trust these. Like, what I like about Bard is that whenever you ask it a question, it generates a response and it gives you an option to immediately Google it, right? So you can quickly fact check it. This is what I was telling Varun. In fact, if someone can leave this in the comments, like, this is a general problem with LLMs. Everybody who uses LLMs regularly, like a lawyer or an accountant or someone who's doing research, will prompt an LLM a question and the LLM will reply. While it looks impressive, if you start digging deeper, it might have some mistakes in it. Like, it'll make up an old court case that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter that some lawyer got into trouble because
he just copy pasted what Bard or GPT wrote and the judge was like, yo, this shit is made up.
Yeah.
So what is the most elegant solution to make LLMs more factually accurate without me having to reprompt?
Community notes. Like, Twitter has solved this with community notes. Like, when somebody put out a tweet before community notes, I never knew whether it's true or not.
What the truth is, yeah.
You have no
How
idea.
do you do community notes on an LLM?
You can't. Real time, it's very hard. So I feel like GPTs are really good at hallucinating.
Yeah.
Right? And the way to check a GPT that's hallucinating is to have like a list of articles to compare it against. But what if those articles are misinformation? That's the thing. You can't, there is no source of truth in the world. You need to use your common sense. And it also comes down to what you believe in at the end of the day.
But there must be some, like you said, reflection. Like, there must be some easy way. Like, I would love if there was just one button that says, are you sure?
But why do you need the button? Like, somebody will eventually make a GPT that stops hallucinating or hallucinates minimally. But it will still, there will still be some semblance of hallucination. Because remember, it's been trained on the world's data. And the world's data is not factually accurate.
Got it. So if you're researching, don't fully trust GPT.
Yeah.
Like, GPT is a good assistant, but not your boss.
Yeah.
Is that a fair analogy to make?
Yeah. GPT is a good intern, eager to help,
Yeah.
great at skills,
But still an intern. Inexperienced.
And
Yeah.
interns, especially in code, we have a saying that interns are very prone to dropping your database tables in production, which means that they will screw things up sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. In fact, these days we have a cost associated with each intern, which is not the price we pay the intern, but also what
The
kind of
fuck-ups.
damage
Yeah.
this
What kind
intern
of collateral damage.
this intern will deal to us, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like there is no replacement to common sense. There's no replacement to you thinking and be like, is this really true? With this, the implication is more around, I think a lot of businesses got traffic from writing.
Correct.
I think now you have to be in the top 3 articles of the world.
That sucks.
Right? Or the top 3 YouTube videos in the world. Because I know there's a YouTube segment below this. We can probably put up a picture of this, right? There are 3 YouTube videos here, 3 articles here. You have to be top 3. Like that's what I said, right? This is what I keep saying. The top 1% will continue to exist. They'll become even more powerful. Because imagine if you're here and you're above the fold, we call this the fold now. If you're above the fold, then you sort of, you win and you win hard. Your competitors get so much less traffic. Stuff like this increases the inequality in the world, even though this is one example of it, where the powerful become even more powerful. If you're on top, you become even bigger. And if you're at the bottom, you get left behind.
So, but the way LLMs are scraping the internet is very similar to the Google scraper, right?
Yeah.
So just the way people figure out how to game SEO,
Yeah.
which people just put up. Remember the old days where people just put up 500 blogs with these keywords, just flood the internet with, pollute everything.
Yeah.
Do you think people will figure out a way to do the same with LLMs? Because at the base of it, it's still a scraper.
Yeah.
You think it's possible?
Yeah, potentially. It's probably LLM optimization. Here's my theory on LLM because by the way, we've done great SEO with scenes. We get like 100 leads a month. You look for any of our competitors, say alternative scenes would pop up. We have 172 SEO pages, right? I think the main thing is that with LLM optimization, it would be volume. How can you get on 100 different pages saying the same thing? Because it increases the confidence of the system saying that, whenever people talk about AI overpowered exists in the same line. And I've seen this on 100 different websites. Therefore, AI and overpowered must have some connection. Like I said, it's a probability graph to the next word, right? If it's seen that statement multiple times in multiple different places, then it makes a lot of sense.
But you can fake this, right? Just the way people faked it.
You can fake it, but Google has gotten smart with faking because you could also fake with SEO, right? You can send backlinks to other people. It looks for high domain authority websites. So if you have a high domain authority website in, let's say if you appear on Forbes, okay? Now there are some rules associated with this, like
for Forbes is high domain authority.
Yeah, there is these things called do follow and no follow, where if it's no follow, then it doesn't give you SEO juice. This was a saying in the past, but the Google team has come out openly saying none of that exists. If it's a popular website and if you have a link of another website, then that website will gain some value by being on your website. And we've seen this, right? In 2015, nobody knew about my company. That time I was running a company called JobSpy. Nobody knew about it. The next day, Your Story wrote an article about it. And in a week, we started ranking for the keyword, right? Even though media companies usually have a no follow. So we have seen it be very useful to us for multitude of reasons. And I think, how do you get articles on 30 really highly valuable popular websites out there? How do you be everywhere? How do you do a podcast with everyone? It's about visibility, right? In short, I would say the word is distribution. Like distribution, like you now have to be in the top 3. I've been saying this for like a year or 2 years, right? You have to be in the top now. Like you don't have a choice but to be in number 1, number 2, number 3, right? Which is why you see a lot of founders today realizing, oh shit, YouTube is actually very popular or very valuable for me to get in the top 3.
But there's no way Google is cannibalizing their ads business.
I think they'll still put up ads. I think there'll be 3 more ads here.
In the fold.
Yeah, in the fold. Right? I don't think they've thought the entire thing through. I think it'll take a few iterations. They'll try a few things. So I have a question here, okay? I keep seeing MidJourney courses. And these MidJourney courses are always like, 4 weeks, we'll teach you everything about MidJourney. But I feel it's not hard to use MidJourney. Like it's like 20 minutes at max, 30 minutes at max, and then you figure it out. I think the hard part in MidJourney is you developing a sense of taste.
Correct.
Right? I think the best MidJourney course would look like the history of design. What is Rembrandt design? What is solar punk? What is steampunk? Once you know the words, once you know the words to activate the spells, it'll come out. Like, I know how to make a good card game design in MidJourney because I played Hearthstone. I know all the characters in Hearthstone. So it's very easy for me to prompt those. You played Valorant. You know the style. You may not be able to describe the style, but you're just like in the style of Valorant.
Yeah, but I think you're assuming that people take courses to fulfill their curiosity. That's most often not true.
I think people take courses for outputs.
People take courses for outputs. Like the Indian education system, part of me enrolling into colleges is that this system will force me to think about X thing for X hours a day. And it's a way for me, it's guardrails for my energy, so it goes in the right direction.
I don't think that's what college is about. Like, I ran a recruitment platform and we had a lot of users, okay? Mostly freshers. And we had so many user interviews in the early days. People go to college for two reasons. Their parents push them to go to college. They actually don't even know what they want to do. And two, many of them go for the campus and the women and for friends.
For the campus and the?
Women and for friends. I'm talking about boys. Campus, women and friends.
No one wants to solve for their curiosity because those who want to do it.
Yeah, they don't need a system.
They don't need a system to do it, right? But I think with MidJourney specifically, you need to spend X amount of time inside just tinkering around.
Yeah.
And it helps if there's someone who's like, hey, try this. Like I didn't take a MidJourney course, but I got onto it with, someone like a Pratik Arora. I spent like an hour, 2 hours with him just fucking out with MidJourney. So it kind of saves you time, but also like I Googled my way through a ton of stuff.
Every problem, yeah. But Tanmay, also you're good at using MidJourney from what I've seen in some of the outputs you've sent me or WhatsApp or whatever. You're good at it because you have a sense of class and taste. You've been around the block. You know the words to invoke.
Correct.
Right? You're like Jon Snow in a busy Mumbai street.
Yeah.
Like you know the words. Right?
Yeah. And I think designers who are truly visually imaginative will take to it quickly.
Yeah.
But a lot of AI tools are not they will make the experts and give them a further edge. But what it will actually do is give the layman who isn't an expert, just save them years of catching up.
Yeah.
That I think is the true unlock with something like a...
Yeah, like with illustrations, I've become so good, it will probably take me 20 years to get that good. See, the problem with MidJourney is you don't have fidelity. Like you can't say Arnab Goswami, let's say there are 3 frames in a comic book, right? First frame doing this, then doing this, then doing this. Let's say you have him like putting his hand out. You can't easily do that in MidJourney. It'll give you 3 different Arnab Goswamis.
Correct.
But you can do it in Stable Diffusion. You can start painting out parts like the generative fill that you saw, right? Rip off the arm. There's a tool called ControlNet that allows you to move the arm and say, okay, I want to copy this pose. You can do a lot of crazy stuff and it's coming. Like eventually there's going to be a tool that just allows you to do all of this in one place.
Correct.
Pay $9 a month.
Now you can just do a generic reporter and then you can face swap Arnab to it. Like you can do anything. Now the ability, slowly these tools are being built where you can truly create any image that you want. And next step is probably motion, right? Add motion to these images.
And you can always do the face swap for videos always existed. Deepfakes.
Yeah,
right?
deepfakes
You can always deepfake. That's what we're entering a time where if you are creative and you have taste, you win. If you know the words, you just need to know what to invoke where. It's like this, right? Like, and people keep saying this, right? People think you need to learn AI.
No.
Okay.
You need to learn how to express yourself.
Or people think you need to learn how to learn machine learning. It's the equivalent of saying, oh, I need to be great at forging a sword. No, the sword already exists. Like we have the best in class swords now.
Yeah.
Learn how to swing. And that only comes from battle experience.
Correct.
First you start with a stick.
Correct.
It's not great. You gain the experience. Then you're like, oh yeah, I do this. Oh, in this, I do this. Learned experience can only come from experiencing life. Do you feel that might be true for design and text?
Oh, yeah. I mean, people often measure experience in life as the number of years you have worked, but more often than not, it's the number of experiences you have. So you can be an intern at a design agency for a year, but if they truly fucking made you bounce around 15 different projects, you've had 4 years of work X in one. So more than, in lived life, I think it's how many experiments have you suffered that can truly determine what you're capable of.
Yeah.
Things.
But everything that you enter, you're picking up 3-4 things from it that you're bringing to the next thing. That's something
Exactly.
I've noticed.
Yeah, that's useful, right?
Yeah.
Which is why, like, I keep asking my friends now, saying, "Are you trying this thing or no?" Just try. You don't know what will come out of it. It's okay if it's of no use, but at least you just tried. Just log on to MidJourney and just try this shit. I think most people in creative field, whether you write, perform, design, produce music, most people will benefit something from each tool. Like I'm desperate to try out the Google Music LLM now.
That plus Uber Duck, and you have
That plus Uberduck, and you're a producer, right? Like if I can type in, jazz mixed with hip hop.
and this is the song I want. It'll write you the lyrics.
Yeah.
It'll do everything.
And I'm sure like this inside face type thing will happen where I'll be able to drop a sample and be like, give me something like this, but on a 4x3 or on a different beat. But use a trumpet instead of this. But with the same melody.
This is what I said. You need the words. Once
You
you
need
know
the
the
words.
words, you
Once
know
you
what
know
you're
the
looking
words.
for.
Yeah.
Like the problem is most people don't know what they're looking for.
Most people don't know.
Right? So they can't clearly state, I am looking for this.
Yeah.
Right? This beat, this style, this. Once you know the words and you know where to use those words, I think that's when you become truly competent.
Yeah, and in order to know the words, you have to traverse the forest multiple times. What do I mean by this? Like when we write screenplays, Satyanshu, my friend, who's a phenomenal screenwriting teacher, he always makes us write okay, this is a 100-word log line, and I always be like, why? I know more about the story now. He's like, no, but to truly traverse a forest, you need to first look at the forest from like way up top. Okay, and then you keep going closer and closer, and then you choose saying, I want to land at that part of the forest. But once you land there, and if you know the geography of the forest before that, you know how to exit, you know how to traverse the forest. So the more forests you traverse, which is the more projects you've been to from end to end, the more likely you will know what something will be like at the end of it. And that is your judgment.
I mean, the right way to live your life is not to build one career doing one thing. Now I'm talking about. Versus running a million experiments and finding out what you like, what you enjoy, what also makes money. And, do you feel that's a better way to live life? Like run 100 experiments a year?
100%. I think you could have one thing that you are doing, but you can build more experiments within it. And it could be stakeless experiments, right? It could be harmless experiments, whatever it is. But the point is you need to see things through from 0 to 1. You need to see things through till the end. It makes sense, right? Like, what is judgment? Judgment is the ability to know what something's going to be like eventually, for which you just need to see enough things go from what it's now to eventually. You just need to see enough of it go through. Like I used to spend years, like when the AIB social media team, we hired a bunch of really cool kids. The YouTube team would output 2 videos a month. The social media team would output 5 posts a day. And each of those would have, X million people interact with it. So the social media team eventually became a team that could predict the outcome of videos better than the video team, because they just outputted 5 times a day. They knew what the eventuality of a thought is. So the more you output, the more you're able to predict what happens in the end. Yeah.
That's why I'm going back to my college roots also. Like in college, I used to run a lot of experiments. This year is my experiment year. I'm just going to try so many different things, build that muscle memory, and then eventually you'll know where it will land. Because I think the world has changed.
As long as these experiments end up in front of people and you know how people respond, especially if you're doing something consumer facing.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go to Sam Altman.
Yeah, Sam Altman testified in front of US Senate, and I gotta say off the bat, way better than what Zuck had. Sam Altman knows how he's being perceived, and he played that super well. Like everyone knew. Like with Facebook, everyone was like, so Zuck, would you tell us what hotel you're staying in? Booyah, see privacy. My point is made. Like Sam came prepared with, hey, we think this shit should be regulated. So he kind of got ahead of everybody else and be like, I'm the guy who's saying, let's regulate this shit. We need a body. Which means that OpenAI, if there is regulation that's going to come, OpenAI will help that regulation be shaped. And only OpenAI knows OpenAI's plans. So.
I think I know who OpenAI fears, by the way. It's not Bard. It's open source.
Of course.
Like, you can't compare a team with 300 people to a team of
5 million people around the world.
1 million people around the world, just very interested in specific, unique problem sets. Like, one thing I've been very interested in the AI space is, there's a tech now called QLoRa. okay, which allows you to run fine tuning of models at 4-bit. Okay, it's not important for people to know what this is, but it's something that I just got very passionate about because it allows me to run or train a lot of these models on my hardware, which is not obviously like a massive cluster of GPUs, right? So I got very excited about this. I started pushing to that repo, right? I've started now pushing to that repo. It's my corner of the AI world that I'm just going deeper and deeper into. Like me, there are probably 1 million people going to those corners. OpenAI with 300 people can't go into so many corners.
They can't.
Right? So
I think the Google leak document said as much.
Yeah, the winner is open.
The winner is open source.
Is Facebook. Facebook launched Llama model, right?
Yeah.
Which got leaked and went viral or whatever. Llama has won, right?
You think so?
They won the
Because
brand.
of the accidental leak?
Yeah, I think it was not accidental. I think it was an intentional leak, right? They put this out for the world to just consume and build on top of, because we've seen this in stable diffusion, right? ControlNet exists for stable diffusion, face swappers exist in painting, hundreds of tools exist in stable diffusion on top of the base stable diffusion. Those don't exist in MidJourney. MidJourney has the best outputs, just like ChatGPT has the best outputs, but it's not the most customizable. Stable diffusion.
It's Android and iOS kind of.
But Llama is the most customizable. There are probably 100 versions of Llama now. All of different sizes, trained on different data sets. We will probably put out a competitor to ChatGPT because we've got the Llama base and we're building an adapter on top of it. So I feel like he's worried about that, right? And the best way is to say, oh, these 5 companies, me, Microsoft, EAO, 5 of us will be the kings, and everybody below that, don't let them build anything.
Basically, everybody should need a license.
Yeah.
So they can be regulated. So fuck open source, basically.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
I think that's what
Well played, Sam.
But he keeps saying that, oh, we shouldn't go after people building less capable models. But the truth is, all those models are capable. Anything based on Llama is reasonably capable. So he knows who he's going after.
Samir is a sly guy. Oh, Samir.
Who's Samir?
Samir. It's Samir Altman.
We, the field, the technology, the industry, cause significant harm to the world. It's why we started the company. It's a big part of why I'm here today and why we've been here in the past. I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong.
Yeah, he was quite open about the potential destructive nature of AI.
He's being a doomer.
He's being a doomer, but a very measured. It could go wrong.
Yeah.
It could go quite wrong.
It may go wrong.
It may go wrong. Like he's doing it very smartly.
I think you have said, and I'm going to quote, development of superhuman machine intelligence is probably the greatest threat to the continued existence of humanity, end quote. You may have had in mind the effect on jobs.
I believe that there will be far greater jobs on the other side of this, and that the jobs of today will get better.
He said this before. Even on Lex Friedman, he said this.
No, he says he's very clever about this. He says far greater jobs, not greater number of jobs. The guy is smooth. It could be true, right? You might have far greater jobs. A person might have more fulfillment on a daily basis because they're doing so much more. But is it more number of jobs? He doesn't say those words exactly. I think that's a little bit of trickery.
He says that people will have better jobs, but not how many people. Yeah, sure. But I still don't see how people will, like, how are people going to have like more creative jobs? Again, it's a game of taste, right? Which is how can AI will assist you get to the truest version of your vision. That's
I don't
how
think
every
people will
job
have more jobs. I don't think we'll have more jobs.
more jobs, sure.
I don't think we'll have more jobs. Will we have better jobs? Yes. Like now I'm scaled. I can do 10 projects. You can do 10 projects. We have the network. But to somebody starting out, there's now a barrier. So a friend of mine, very famous designer, sent me a text the other day. He's from my college. He's like, so glad we're not 18 anymore, bro. It's just like there's so much uncertainty. Like what field do you pick now? Like what is the field you pick now? Because when I was young, my parents were confused whether to put me in mechanical engineering or computer science engineering. And I was like, I really like computers. I want to go into computers, right? It's quite obvious for me. But I know a lot of people ask me this question. A lot of uncles will reach out to me and say, my kid wants to talk to you and he wants to know what career to go into. It's so hard for me to give advice because I'm like, bro, I don't know.
Again, doomer speak, right? Like if you're 18, you have time, first of all, which is
The most
valuable asset. Why is it the most valuable asset is because you just get to experiment. You just get to do different things. And now I think with AI, you're able to determine your own skill sets a lot quicker. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to do 4 years of something to be a graduate in it.
Yeah.
You can spend 6 months on something to know if this is compelling enough for you and or if you're good enough.
Do you
and
think
or
college
if this
is a
pays.
deterrent here? 4 years of going to college and
I think college
doing
has been a
things
deterrent for very long. I don't think AI is the thing that's going to make. College has been a deterrent once the internet became super ubiquitous. Once you could pay for data on your phone, college became a deterrent.
Like, why would people go to design college for 4 years now? In 4 years, the models are going to be so damn
different.
good.
Yeah, I agree. So if you're 18, I would think about how I want to spend my time because that is your most valuable asset.
But how do you make money?
Just the same way everybody else will make money with AI. You have to figure out what is it that you love doing, that you are good at, and that pays you. These are the three things.
Even
that
if you use AI to
even if you use AI to determine that. Just like it's just by the time you're 30, 35, you already know what you're good at. You already know this is something is paying you now. But AI could make that not a reality. AI could make it not that high paying a thing. So I don't think the 18-year-old has as much to worry as the 30-year-old who's already made their life choice and already spent all the years of learning that they can. If I was 18 now, I would be a lot less worried than if I was 35 and not fully sorted out. I think I would be okay being an 18-year-old designer now. I don't think that's as much of a worry. People will still need designers and you have time to become really good. You have more time than a 35-year-old designer for sure.
I think I have a different view on this, right? I think that we had white collar jobs for like 20, 30 years now. Computer jobs I'm talking about, not like clerical jobs. I think that's the entire offline world available. I think people are too addicted to paisa banana hai internet pe. But I think working in real estate, selling a house, being a broker,
Yeah, all that shit is not going away.
there are
For
an
sure.
infinite number of jobs. We have some sort of status addiction to I'm doing a job on the computer. Like, why? You're sitting on a chair for like 10 hours a day. Like, why is that high status?
I mean, it gives you most leverage and hence it paid you a lot more.
Correct. That was in the past.
That was in the past.
If the pay goes down, a lot of people who I speak to are like, dude, I don't want to go do an offline job. I don't want to travel 10 hours a day and go show people houses or, deliver food or run a restaurant or whatever. Like old school stuff.
Yeah.
But dude, for so many years of humanity, those were normal jobs.
But the thing about every offline job is that it's somehow connected online now.
Yeah.
Like the real estate dude is making reels of houses now.
Yeah.
Right? The restaurant has an Instagram page. They have
Yeah.
events. They have everything is connected to online in some way.
So if I was 18, here's what I would do. Because people keep asking me this, I've never had the opportunity to speak to them long form. I would do offline. See, brand gives, when you have a brand for something, you're known for something, that gives you leads. You convert some of those leads, you make money. The other way is to do sales, right? But sales is far easier when you have a brand. The brand building will still be online. A lot of it. You want to generate images, you want to generate a flyer, you want to put up a standee. A lot of the heavy lifting will be done online. So it's very easy for you to build, it'll be easier for you to get visibility, I guess. But the work will still have to be done offline. Because if you want to compete with if you're going to compete with a computer online for the work part of it, you're going to lose. I will lose.
By the way, while we're on this subject, if there is anyone who's like super young, who you think is proficient at MidJourney, I would love to hear from you because I know 10 things that I could work with you on.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a freelancer who's super proficient at MidJourney, who can help me out, who can help me generate images for all the ad stuff that I do. It'll be super useful. So just want to pause and let you guys know. Please email us.
It's probably one of the first AI first jobs.
So anybody young who's super proficient in MidJourney, has been tinkering around, there are 15 ways that I would want to work with you. So do email. What is even a resume in this?
Just show us your output.
Show us your output. And I'd love to work with a couple of you. Maybe do a test run. It's a freelance job only. It's not a full-time thing because what is a full-time thing anymore? So please write us on this email. Send us your shit. And I have to freelance with you. Join the ad team.
Nice. Okay, so the next thing Sam says is,
could AI create a situation where a drone can select the target itself?
I think we shouldn't allow that.
Well, can it be done?
Sure.
Thanks.
What did he say? Can AI select
a person and kill that person with a drone.
And what did he say?
He said yes. We shouldn't allow that, is what he said first. But the guy was like, can it be done?
Can it be done? Yeah.
There's a new rule in AI. If it can be done, some guy's going to do it.
Someone will do it. This is like boomer classes, no? It's like they got the oldest people in America to sit in front of Sam Altman and ask questions. But yeah, AI can...
It's old school panchayat.
like GPT in a drone can detect someone's face
Easy.
and kill
Not
them.
GPT, but yeah, easy.
Yeah, not GPT, yeah. But you can detect someone's face and eliminate them if needed.
Yes.
Cool, next.
First of all, I think it's important to understand and think about GPT-4 as a tool, not a creature, which is easy to get confused.
Easy to get confused.
Yeah, GPT is a tool, not a creature. Yet, Varun, would you say yet?
I'd say it's still a tool.
So far.
See, I have a very weird... There's a book called I Am a Strange Loop. By the way, anybody who's slightly philosophical in nature, there's a book called I Am a Strange Loop. You will love it. Okay? The brain is constantly telling itself a story. It's like that 1,000 Arabian Nights story, right? Where there's a princess, she's about to get killed, and she tells the king a story. And the king is like, I like this. If you keep telling me stories, I won't kill you. So she keeps telling it stories. She keeps telling the king stories. Our brain's sort of like that. It's like a story we keep telling ourselves. But I Am a Strange Loop has another concept which says that anything, any network of information with a central processing unit is conscious, but probably not in the same way. Anything which has a CPU, like your computer, which integrates information from many different senses technically, right? A mic,
What does something need to have for it to be deemed as conscious?
Firstly, we don't agree on the term consciousness. So that's why I'm very careful, okay? I don't think GPT is conscious in the way that humans are conscious, right? I feel like there is no true universal definition for consciousness. Daniel C. Dennett has a great definition, which is like consciousness is an interface for me to interact. Your consciousness is an interface for me to interact with you, right? By that definition, GPT is conscious.
Can GPT get horny?
It can pretend to get horny. And I don't know if there's a difference. Like, are hormones coursing through GPT? In a way, yes. In a way, yes. Right? Something mimicking the way that hormones are coursing through us could be possible in GPT. Right? Because it needs to be pushed down that path, right? To start talking like that. Right? For it, something has to happen inside the machine for it to go that direction.
Like,
Right? By the way, I'm super simplifying this, okay?
Would GPT message me at 4 a.m. saying, hey, you up?
If it was part of its base programming, yes.
So it can get horny.
If I gave it a prompt and it was allowed to do time-based, like in tech we call it a cron job, it was allowed to do time-based stuff, yes.
Tharak GPT, please someone get on this.
Right? But what I'm saying is different. What I'm saying is, I don't think it's conscious in the way humans are conscious. And I'm very careful about this because I know people like destroy me on Twitter if I say what I'm thinking. I think it's conscious in a different way. But for us, and our definition of consciousness, it's still a tool. Safety recommendation.
Number one, I would form a new agency that licenses any effort above a certain scale of capabilities and can take that license away and ensure compliance with safety standards. Number two, I would create a set of safety standards focused on what you said in your third hypothesis as the dangerous capability evaluations. One example that we've used in the past is looking to see if a model can self-replicate and self-exfiltrate into the wild. We can give your office a long other list of the things that we think are important there, but specific tests that a model has to pass before it can be deployed into the world. And then third, I would require independent audits. So not just from the company or the agency, but experts who can say the model is or isn't in compliance with these stated safety thresholds and these percentages of performance on question X or Y.
He wants to regulate open source.
Regulate open source.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, I get it.
It's very hard for them to regulate open source.
But I get why also.
I get why, but dude, I'm sitting in India. What are they going to do? Send the American Navy here? Or what are the SEALs? Whatever they call them.
Yeah.
There'll be some kid in Bangladesh building tech. Cross-border is very tough. And the thing about open source, the thing about GitHub Hugging Face is...
This needs a global coordination.
No chance.
It's just impossible, right? This is no chance.
No chance.
Everybody coordinated on cloning, nuclear.
Yeah, we have coordinated, but there are still some dissidents. The thing with AI is you just need one dissident. You need one guy to say, screw this, I'm going to do it out of my house. Because see, nuclear still requires a lot of cash. Cloning also requires a lot of cash. AI is like what? You have a computer, you have internet access, done.
No, compute will still need, at
It's
least
not
for
that
some
expensive.
time.
It's like few $1,000s. Compare that to building a nuclear plant.
No, but like a self-replicating AI, that's not.
Doesn't
what it is.
matter, no? Once you train it, you can send it into the wild.
Got it. So it's impossible to regulate it.
It's hard. I wouldn't say impossible because crazy things have happened,
Yeah,
but it's hard.
it's hard. Anyway, anyone who's watching this, if you know how to create a self-replicating AI, do get in touch.
Yeah, we'd be happy to send you to the authorities.
All right, that's for this episode of Opar. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Do write to us on the email ID in the description about everything cool you're up to with AI. It's just still early days. We're just figuring out who's in the community, what we can do with the community, and just keep us abreast with all the cool shit you guys are up to. See you next time.
Bye.